Hello, everyone. I would like to talk to you a little bit about your final project. So, you've already chosen a leader, we visited the library, and you've probably noticed that some of the homeworks going forward are going to be focused on your leader. So, I do that to make things easier for you because by the time you reach the end of the semester and start really working on the paper, you'll find that you already have some chunks of it done, including a lot of your research. If you look under coursework in Blackboard, you'll see a folder with so you can go right there for yourself and see that it has to be 10 to 12 pages long. It should use APA style and other details like that. Right now, what I want to focus on more is the focus of your paper itself, the stuff that's not just technical details. As Tim from the Writing Center said last week when we were there, this paper is not a biography. So you should tell us who your leader is, yes, but that part of the paper is very brief. Don't spend more than a page and probably only one paragraph with basic biographical information. So it's clearly helpful to know that the person is a CEO or that they started their own business. We maybe need to know where they went to college, if they wrote a great proposal in college and that turned into their business that they started on their own, but maybe we don't need to know that. But before you even get to that biographical information, you need to introduce your paper. You need an introduction. Introductions are really hard to write, and honestly, they should be the last thing that you do right. Don't just launch your paper on page 1 with so-and-so was born in 1947, blah, blah, blah. The intro should be a tiny little baby mini version of what you will say in the rest of your paper. Someone who's in a really big hurry should read just your first paragraph and get the idea of what your paper is going to be about. What they won't get is, of course, all the backup supporting details and explanations that you're right. So after your introduction, you'll talk about your leader's style of leadership and negotiation. You should use several different concepts from the course, such as leadership styles or negotiation tactics. Maybe you want to tell us, for example, that your leader is democratic. So that should first be mentioned in the introduction, briefly, but then later on you'll have a paragraph, or maybe more, about their democratic style. You'll need to provide evidence. What actions have this person taken that are democratic? You can always include quotes from the leader about what their philosophy is, but keep in mind that people can be deluded. Just because someone says they're democratic doesn't mean that they actually are. And finally, remember all leaders have weaknesses. At the very least, for example, even the world is not equally an expert on all areas of business. They might know finance but not marketing, for example. So where are those gaps in their knowledge? And how do they find ways to compensate, or do they? Maybe they hire VPs who are very strong where they are weak. Has your CEO had any past failures? And if so, have they learned from it? Maybe they have a leadership style that results in great products, but burnt out employees. So even if you've chosen a leader that you really look up to, make sure to look for things that they haven't always succeeded at. All right, I think that's enough for one video. We'll certainly come back to this topic in class. As always, if you do have any questions along the way, you get stuck, you can ask me something before or after class or send me an email and I'll be happy to help you out. All right, I'll see you next week.